Soft wind howl, faint crackling of fire, then silence. Have you ever heard of a whole village, men, women, and children, vanishing overnight, leaving behind their food, their clothes, even their dogs, as if they simply melted into thin air? Because that's exactly what happened, or is said to have happened, in the frozen wilderness of northern Canada in the winter of 1930. This is the chilling mystery of the vanishing village of Anjikuni Lake. Far from any road or settlement, surrounded by endless white snow and pine forests, lies Anjikuni Lake, a place so remote that even maps of the time barely marked it. It was here that a fur trapper named Joe Labelle, a man familiar with the Arctic silence, made a discovery that would haunt Canadian folklore for decades. Labelle was on his usual route that November, moving along frozen trails in search of furs and supplies. As he approached the Inuit village he often traded with, he noticed something strange. The air was still, no barking dogs, no sound of laughter, no smoke rising from chimneys. When he entered the settlement, the sight before him froze his blood. Tents stood half open, some with fires still burning. Inside, fish hung over dying flames, untouched. Bowls of stew sat half-eaten. Clothing lay neatly folded, as if the owners had stepped out for a moment and never returned. And then, the most disturbing thing, sled dogs, still tied, lying dead from starvation, their ribs visible under the ice. Labelle knew these people well. He had shared meals with them. Now they were simply gone. Frightened and confused, he set off through the snow to reach the nearest Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, outpost. When he finally arrived, exhausted and frostbitten, he told the officers that an entire community had vanished without a trace. The RCMP dispatch reportedly sent a team to investigate. According to some accounts, the officers confirmed the eerie emptiness of the camp. They allegedly found one more unsettling detail: a grave, dug open, with stones around it scattered, as if something or someone had disturbed it from below or above. News of the event reached southern newspapers quickly. A journalist named Emmett Kelleher Hunorifinani KD wrote about the lost village of Anjikuni Lake in 1930, describing about 25 missing Inuit men, women, and children. The article shocked readers worldwide, and before long, the story had spread like wildfire, picked up, retold, and exaggerated. By the 1950s, author Frank Edwards reprinted it in his book, Stranger Than Science, adding even more disturbing details: glowing lights in the sky, mysterious tracks in the snow, and hints of a possible mass abduction. And so, what might have been a small mystery transformed into one of the most famous vanishing legends in Canadian history. But as the legend grew, so did the doubts. When journalists and researchers later asked the RCMP about the case, the answer shocked them. There is no official record of such an investigation, and they said, no missing persons reports, no files, no proof that a village ever disappeared. In fact, an internal police memo from 1931 reportedly concluded that there is no foundation for this story. So, was Joe Labelle lying? Or did someone else invent the story and use his name? Some researchers believe Labelle might have come across an abandoned seasonal camp, a normal part of Inuit life, as families move between hunting grounds. Others suspect journalistic fabrication, that Kelleher simply wrote a dramatic tale to sell papers. Still, the details like the untouched meals, the exhumed grave, the starved dogs were too strange to dismiss completely. For decades, the case became a tug-of-war between believers and skeptics. Believers pointed to the consistency of Labelle's testimony and strange accounts of northern lights seen that week. Skeptics argued that no police files, no photographs, and no Inuit oral histories ever confirmed the event. Even the so-called grave evidence has never been verified. And yet, something about the story refuses to die. Even today, deep in the snowy wilderness of Nunavut, travelers speak of Anjikuni Lake in hushed tones. Some say they've seen flickering lights over the frozen waters, just as Edwards described. Others claim to have felt an eerie silence there, too still, too perfect. Whether it was a hoax, a misunderstanding, or something far stranger, no one can deny the power of this story. It reminds us how legends are born, from a spark of fear, a whisper in the cold wind, and a single unanswered question. So what really happened at Anjikuni Lake? Did an entire village vanish into the northern night? Or did the truth disappear beneath layers of snow, rumor, and imagination? One thing's certain, in the frozen heart of Canada, where the wind carries no answers, some mysteries are never meant to be solved.